everybody, and welcome back to my channel for another video. Thank you guys for tuning back in, and let's just get started. Also, coming back, I already filmed, but I'm coming back to tell you guys that if this video might be pretty lengthy, so like what I like to do, I like to just put a YouTube video on in the morning while I'm getting ready. So you don't have to watch me to watch this video, so just put on like a podcast, get ready, and start your day. Hey! So today I'm going to be talking about how I like living in LA. I did an Instagram poll on this a few weeks ago, I think before Christmas, and a lot of people said they wanted to see it, and I get a ton of DMs asking me how I like living here or like advice on moving here. I haven't lived here that long, so I don't have all the answers. I'm not an LA expert. I don't want to offend anybody if I say something like wrong, but these are just my opinions on how I like living in Los Angeles. So overall, big picture, I do like living in LA. There are just a lot of things that bother me. It's kind of like a love-hate relationship with this city, and it's bothering me that I'm not centered. Here we go. I'm on like a little stool. It's definitely a love-hate relationship with the city, you would say. There are a lot of good things about it, but there also are a lot of things that are really annoying and weird and like just so different from how I used to do things in Iowa. Overall, like I said, I do like it. The weather here is great all year round. The summer, actually, it gets a little hot, like a little too hot. So Michael and I moved here in the summer, and we were kind of like really thrown off by the heat. And I was here last year too, and I don't know, maybe I didn't notice it because I was working more. I worked Monday through Friday, and I worked pretty much every day of the week because I had two jobs, an internship and a part-time job, and that is going to go into another part of the video. And the reason I did that is because it's so expensive here. But anyways, yeah, the weather is amazing. The summer is a little too hot. Now we've gotten into winter, and the weather is amazing. It's so nice outside. It's like 70s, upper 60s, all the way into the 80s. Like, it's such a big range of like the nicest weather possible, and it's been raining the past couple days, but overall it's just so nice. It's really funny on the highway or on the freeway. Let me get my phone. This is funny. Everybody says that no one in LA knows how to drive in the rain. Okay, here we go. Okay, there was a sign on the freeway that said rain, reduce speed. Obviously. So yeah, the weather is amazing. That's one really good thing. Food, there's so much food here. There are so many different cultures that I'd never even heard of, but since it is diverse, there's so many different types of food, and that's something Michael and I have been doing lately. We've been trying different kinds of food. The food selection here does not end. Like, you could try a new place every single day and not get through all the restaurants in Los Angeles, all the different cultures in Los Angeles. Like, there are endless opportunities of places to go out to eat. So obviously we came here to work full time. I started an internship here, it turned into a job, which is amazing. Michael was here for only a week before he found a job, which was so awesome. So we obviously work full time. I work Monday to Friday, and obviously we're adults now, so part of the reason why it's hard for me is because we're still transitioning from school into work. So number one, that's kind of like it's not very fun. We don't enjoy going to work Monday through Friday. Like, I like my job and I like everybody that I work with, don't get me wrong, it's great, but we live in such an amazing city. Like, there's so many things to do. The last thing I want to do is be going to work Monday through Friday. Since we work Monday to Friday and living where we do, we don't have parking at our apartment, which is like a big thing in LA. If you move to Los Angeles, you need to have parking. Like, you need it. It is a necessity. We don't have parking at our apartment, and when we get home from work, we've like figured it out now, so it doesn't take very long for us to find parking, but it's like sometimes we're parking 4 blocks away, which is I guess it's not that bad, but it's like once we park, once we get home from work, we can't leave. The first Friday we spent in Los Angeles, like so the first Friday we were ever here, it took us 2.5 hours to find parking because we didn't know the neighborhood, we didn't know where to go, we didn't know like if parking too far away was going to be safe, we just didn't know anything. So 2.5 hours of yelling at each other, like saying we wanted to move back to Iowa. It was probably like the worst day we've ever had here. It was so bad. So imagine that as your like start to a fresh new city, and yeah, it was not very fun. So moving on to money, like I was saying, it is super expensive here. We got pretty lucky that our apartment complex, the electricity is included, water's included, like everything's included into our rent. But of course, our rent is super high. We have a studio and we're paying more than the average house payment in Iowa, if that puts it into perspective. I don't know if it's appropriate to like say how much I pay in rent on the internet. Like I'm not afraid to tell anybody, but I don't know if I like want to put it out here. So if you're wondering how much I pay, feel free to ask me personally and I will tell you, but I don't know if I want to like, I don't know if that's appropriate. I don't know what people do about that. But yeah, so it is super expensive, like ridiculously expensive. We live in a studio with no parking. We did not have laundry. Laundry units just got installed yesterday, actually. I think we have 3 washers and 3 dryers for 2 apartment complexes. And that, I don't know how that's gonna work. Hopefully we're able to use it, like hopefully it's not very busy, but before we were going to the laundromat, and that's just an extra expense. So does that sound fun to anybody? Probably not. So take those things into consideration. We have entry-level jobs. Like we're not making that much money. We make enough to like be able to afford to live here and be able to still have fun. But it's like taking a step back and realizing how much we're actually saving is very slim to how much we could be saving in the Midwest or maybe in the South. I don't know anything about like other regions between the Midwest and here. Yeah, we're not saving that much money. So if you like to get your nails done, if you like to go shopping all the time, really splurging on dinners, this is not the place to be because we don't have extra money to be doing that. Like I don't get my nails done ever. I don't have the money to do it. That does not fit into my budget at all. And student loans just kicked in, so that's another payment each month. So just a lot of bills, and I know that's like being adult, but really expensive here. And I know this video is all over the place, so bear with me. Yeah, so take into consideration how much money you're going to be spending. If this is a big thing too, if you don't want to have a roommate, like you need to have a roommate here. We split our rent down the middle, which makes it a little bit more affordable. But if you are coming out here by yourself, I can like almost guarantee you won't be living by yourself. Like you just graduated college and then you're going to have a roommate. I know people who are in their 30s who still have roommates because they can't afford to spend over $1,000, like $1,000 to $2,000 on rent a month by yourself. Like who can afford that? If you're having an entry-level job, who can afford paying almost $2,000 in rent each month? I can't. So take that into consideration if you want to have a roommate. Some people think it's fun. We didn't want to have a roommate, so we stuck it out, paid a little bit more to have the space to ourselves, but there's also its drawbacks. LA is not as glamorous as you may think it is. I totally made that misconception last summer. Everybody's like, oh, Los Angeles, movie stars everywhere, it's so glamorous, it's this beautiful, amazing place where all your dreams are gonna come true. Wrong! I mean, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of famous people here. I don't see them on the street. I saw Owen Wilson at the Grove a few weeks ago. But besides that, like I don't see famous people walking around everywhere. Unless you're living in like Beverly Hills or somewhere like towards the hills, West Hollywood. Some places by the beach are really nice. Unless you're living in a luxury neighborhood, it is extremely dirty in Los Angeles. Like extremely dirty. And a lot of people don't believe me when I say that, or they like don't want to believe it or whatever, but there's a ton of homeless people. I'm pretty sure the homeless population of LA is the same population of the city that I came from in Iowa. So imagine my whole entire city being homeless and moving to LA. Think about it. That's a lot of people. So if that's something that bothers you, and if that, like, that's where the trash is coming from too, from that amount of homeless people. Like, imagine everybody has their shopping carts full of trash, and they have like their little campsites that's just filled with trash. If that's something that bothers you, then this might not be the place for you, because it's everywhere. Like, you'll be in the nicest of nicest neighborhoods and then go a few blocks and it's just like basically a skid row. I remember the first time my friends and I were driving downtown last year, we got to this neighborhood and we're like, where are we? There are just, well, probably hundreds, thousands, I don't know, of homeless people just like swarming the streets, like riding their bikes in the street. And mind you, it was like midnight, so it's kind of scary. Like, I'd never seen anything like that before. So just like being here really is an eye-opener to just like things like that. Like, I'd never seen anything like that before. So just be mindful and like know that that is here. I don't know really how to put it. I don't know how you want to take that information. I don't know if you think it's gross. I don't know if you think, like, I'm not gonna put any labels on it. I'm just telling you how it is. I'm telling you it's here. Telling you that it's not like as luxurious and amazing as you think it might be, because it's totally different once you're here and once you're living here. So yeah, what else? I've also been getting a lot of questions about like where to live when you come here, and there are like a million different like neighborhoods or different like little areas of LA. So just really take your time to go online and research. Like, first of all, you need to Google map your neighborhood before you get here, because like I said, you can be in one really nice neighborhood but then drive a few blocks and it'd be complete trash and homeless people and things that you just probably don't want to live around. So take that into consideration. Google Maps your neighborhood before you're here. Like, if you don't have the money or time to come here before getting your place, like, we didn't tour this at all. We found it online, Google mapped it, and we're like, okay, we're just gonna take that chance and get it. So take your time to do your research on different neighborhoods. Like, we spent a lot of time searching for a place that was nice. Like, we just graduated college and we were pretty spoiled. Like, we had a really nice apartment in Ames where we went to school. So we didn't want to graduate college, start our jobs, and then live in this crappy apartment. Like, who would want to do that? So we really took our time and found a place that worked in our budget, that was nice, and just be patient. You will find something. It just takes a lot. Traffic is horrible. But I don't know if I can compare this like another big city, because I've never like driven in rush hour in another big city. But okay, I'll take this into perspective. Last year, I live about 4 miles away from my job, and it took me about 45 minutes to get there. 45 minutes to an hour to go 4 miles. So imagine how much traffic that is. That's a lot of traffic. So now I live about 4 miles away from my work, and it takes me about 15 to 20 minutes, but the way I get there is like very dead. You would say, like, I'm not taking any freeways. The freeways are usually bumper to bumper. Where you are working versus where you're living, because you could be like, oh, I'm only like 8 miles away from work. That could take you 2 hours. That could take you an hour. You don't know. So I definitely would recommend finding a place to work, or like basing your work and living arrangements off of each other. A lot of people think everybody here is mean. That's not true. I'm not really going to elaborate on that, but I will say that I do work in a really great environment, and a lot of the people that I work with are super nice, super helpful, and I haven't really had any like bad experiences to say. So there's that. Well, there are other things that I could talk about that I think I would wait for another video. So like, a lot of people ask me how I found housing last year when I lived by USC when I was here for my internship. I get a lot of questions on that kind of stuff, so I think it'd be helpful to make a full video on how like I found housing, on yeah, so I think that'll be another video, but this kind of just concludes my like overall thoughts about living in LA. I do like it. I like the weather. There are some drawbacks like parking, expensive, it's very dirty here. Oh, speaking of it being dirty, the air quality here is horrible, and I don't know how bad it is. Michael and I always talk about this. We're always wondering like what it's doing to our lungs, because you see people in large cities like this that are very populated, and even here they wear masks, and I'm always like, should we be wearing masks? Like, what is this doing to our bodies? I don't get it. It's so bad. You can look, like, we have a view of downtown if you like walk up the street. It's so smoggy all the time. You go to Griffith Observatory, look over the city, smog. Like, what is that doing to our bodies? I just don't, that's one thing I don't understand and I want to learn more on. Kind of like a drawback, I don't know, I think it's gross. That's not okay. I miss fresh air a lot. I really, really miss fresh air. Yeah, so take that into consideration too. Yeah, I think that kind of covers my like overall how I like living in LA. If you have any comment, man, my camera just died. Recording is stopping. Okay, anyways, I'll wrap this up really fast. Ask me questions because I kind of want to do a part 2 or like a more specific video on how I like living here. This was like very basic overall, but yeah, ask me questions. I love getting questions. This recording keeps stopping, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much for sticking through this whole video if you made it to the end. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ask me questions. Yeah, thank you so much, and I hope to see you in the next video.